Good day, Red Hot Storm Trader. So today's webinar, I have good news and bad news. All right, let's start with the good news. The good news is that I've just sent out updates on our trades with the African Rainbow and Standard Bank. Told you to raise your stop loss. It's quite tight to where the price is currently trading at, but I've got a good reason for this. And it's actually got to do with the bad news. So the good news is that we're going to lock in some gains if the trade turns against us. 26.28% and 17.62%, which will make it a hat trick plus another winner, which means we're doing very well for the quarter, especially at the end of the year. It always gets a little bit tricky in terms of the market movements, but we've done a very good job this quarter. And also in the next couple of trades, I'm going to make our stop losses a little bit tighter. And the reason is because of what I'm going to explain to you now. Bad news. The OLMI has been forming this channel since August, as I've showed you, and before that it was showing a sideways channel from the whole year. So this whole year has just been a channel that hasn't been a confirmed breakout just as yet. And today, so let's go through the channel. It's bounced up on the resistance and down on the support again and again and again. And here was where I was anticipating a beautiful breakout to the upside. Okay, so what happened was the candle closed above the resistance, and the next candle opened on above the resistance, but it was not a very strong breakout, right? You can see it's currently testing, so it's flirting around this level. But the thing is, this is not a very satisfying breakout just yet. So if it does show a strong green candle showing that it's going to be a lot more upside to come, then I'm definitely going to pile into a lot more trades. But just for now, I'm protecting the trades we're in, because this movement here, as you can see, is normally called a fake out. And the only way we will know is if it closes below the resistance today. And if it does that, then it shows that the market is not ready to boost to the upside yet. And it could be because of the anticipation of the elections. It could be the anticipation of the December rally. Is there going to be another Santa Claus rally, which I'll explain in another webinar. But just for now, these are the reasons. So we can go look at the RE trade. And the RE trade is trading at 111 Rand and 47 cents. And I said we must raise our stop loss to 110 Rand. So we'll lock in these gains. You know, I base these levels on very strong new resistance. So if it breaks below, it has a higher chance of going down. And also the OLMI will be carrying on to the downside. Not only that, but this candle that is forming is very bearish. Okay. It's made the high, which was close to the take profit at 117 Rand, but the high was here, 116 Rand. All right, or let's be more specific. You go additional information. So the high was 110 Rand and 115 Rand and 87 cents. Okay, and now it's back to 111 Rand 49. So I'm comfortable putting the stop loss here. If it wants to make new lows, it probably will stop us out. If it doesn't, then the best case scenario, it will continue up, and so will the OLMI, and then we can get into fantastic trades. But as you can see, it's been a very interesting run, how we've had a lot of upside, then back down, and now it's broken back up to the upside. So let's see what happens there, but I'm quite happy with the decision that I've made. Okay? Barlow World is broken out of its upside. All right? So I'm now going to wait for a little bit of a pullback, because these are the three soldiers, or the three white soldiers. So let's just go through this watch list very quickly to see if anything is lining up. See, this is an example where Famous Brands has broken out of its resistance, you know, of the flag formation. And then it's now flirting with this level, because it was not a confirmed breakout. There was inevitably going to be a breakout because the chart moved sideways. But look at this. This does not show very strong movement to the upside other than this candle, but we'll have to see before we get in. We are at the moment in no man's land. Kumba, we secured some gains, which is good. Nothing going on there. MTN is forming a W formation, as you can see by this movement. Now MTN, I haven't had great success in the past, purely because of the way it moves, but maybe I'll get into a long, considering how the OLMI does. It needs to break out of that resistance, as I mentioned. Nedbank has broken out of a formation, but the problem is it's diagonal, and when it's diagonal, it's not as strong as a horizontal breakout. I feel like we're at the Kruger National Park and I'm trying to show you animals. And I can only tell you where there were animals and not where there are. So you can see on your right, ShopRite is also forming something over here. It could be a inverse head and shoulders. So you can see there would be a left shoulder, a head. Now it will be a little bit of a downside, forming the right shoulder, and if it breaks out, this will be an absolutely beautiful trade. I'll be more than happy to grab it, but it has to form this right shoulder, and then it has to break above the 199 Rand and 23 cents. No animals here. We'll just drive along. This is Tiger Brands. It's broken out of its W formation. It looks pretty good. Okay, the reason, actually there's no reason. I'm going to write this down and say that Tiger Brands, we need a conservative pullback now. Conservative pullback. And then we can get into that trade. Excellent. So we've got our first animal that we're watching. TFG just broke out of no man's land. And also, you don't want to take trades that have some form of gaps, because through statistics, gaps close around 73.25% of the time. So it's always risky going long when there's a gap in the market. And that is it. So look at this. At the moment, it's closed below the resistance again. Let's look at our trades again. You can see it's formed a doji now. This is where the open is equal to the close, but it's on a bearish side. So if it breaks back above, then our RE trade will be back on track. And then we've got the one more Standard Bank, which is on its way to its stop loss. It hasn't hit it yet. Okay, the low is 152.92, and the stop loss that I said is 152.50. So if it does hit the stop loss, I'll send an update immediately. But as long as you have your trade there, it's just a reminder that it hit your stop loss. You won't do any further action, only when I tell you to do an action. So that's the webinar for today. I hope you are ready for the next trade. Looks like Tiger Brands will be making a conservative pullback, considering that the OLMI can come down. And you know, next week I'll send another webinar on the potential Santa Claus rally that can happen. In other news, on Friday we went to the end year function at work, and you know, normally someone would book a reservation at a restaurant, or an owner would book a you know, accommodation or reservation to have dinner and stuff. Not our company. Our company is a little bit more of a risk takers, and we went bungee jumping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the link below, and I want you to watch the little video that I created for the company on when we went bungee jumping, and just so you can take a look at, you know, that we also like to have fun here. And as much as we have fun with webinars and seminars and trading events and products and everything that we do, we also like to have fun, you know, as a group and as colleagues together, joint effort and teamwork. So enjoy the video of our end year function, and you can watch me bungee jumping, which is something I never thought I would ever do. Have a fantastic week.